Hello and welcome to some Out of the Park Baseball. Today I will be playing my Diamondbacks sim, the Sonoran Sunrise. I unfortunately lost part of this due to some technical issues, so I will try to recover that, but in the meantime we're just going to be starting midway through the season. At this point, the team is doing pretty well, if I remember correctly. We will take a look at the team and all of the players and see how everything's going. So yeah, we're doing pretty well at 52 and 35. I believe we're in second place in the National League West. Third place behind the Padres. That's pretty rough, but at least we are still in a playoff spot. Um, when I started this sim up, I made some major restructuring moves to this team. Carson Kelly is the only position player who is still on the team that is on the initial startup Diamondbacks team. Pavin Smith kind of counts if you're willing to include him as well. Luis Arias is playing the designated hitter spot right now. He was my second baseman last year. Nick Madrigal is my current second baseman. Rafael Devers is playing third. Andres Jimenez is my shortstop. Evan White is my left fielder. Albert Almora Jr. is my center fielder, and Cabrian Hayes is my right fielder. As you can see, not only do I have players that are not Diamondbacks, many of them are playing positions that are not natural for them. I didn't have a spot for Cabrian Hayes in the infield because Rafael Devers is playing third, but yeah, he's playing right field. Evan White, as you can see, is in left field, um, with Pavin Smith coming up to play first, and I had a hole in left field. I decided, well, I might as well move him. So you can see he's actually a really good left fielder at this point already. 70 defense. He's managing the position very well. He's been a quite good hitter as well. Taylor Walls was a Rule 5 draft pick. As for the trades in which I acquired these guys, Luis Arias was pretty expensive from the Twins. Nick Madrigal was a part of a trade that also included Michael Kopech, Dylan Cease, and some other pieces from the White Sox for only Nick Ahmed. Rafael Devers was part of a massive trade to the Red Sox, which included Ketel Marte, Jeter Downs, and some other pieces. Andres Jimenez came over in a trade from the Met that also included Luis Guillorme. Uh, I sent Jeter Downs over. Evan White came over in a trade from the Mariners that included Christian Walker, Eric Swanson, and Madison Bumgarner. Albert Almora Jr. was part of a minor trade with the Cubs that included Craig Kimbrell. Brian Hayes was part of a minor trade with the Pirates that included Chris Archer. Max Scherzer, my current ace, was a return that I got from the Nationals for Chris Archer. Dylan Cease and Michael Kopech obviously came over along with Nick Madrigal. Sixto Sanchez came along with I keep forgetting the prospect who I got. Mm, where is he? Nolan Jones, I believe. He came over with Nolan Jones from the Marlins in return for um, Luis Guillorme. Dylan Bundy was part of the Max Scherzer trade. Edwin Diaz was part of a minor trade from the Mets. Craig Kimbrell obviously came over from the Cubs. Kirby Yates was a free agent signing, very, very cheap. Great ad for us. As you can see, he's getting a very small amount of money, and he's on a very team-friendly contract here. Most of these bullpen pieces came over in minor trades. Rosenthal was an extension. Brian Abreu came over from the Astros. I think he actually was pretty expensive. Jose Alvarado came over from the Rays in the trade that I also got Wander Franco in. Tanner Scott came over from the Orioles in a trade where I got Adley Rutschman, who is currently with the Rays. And yeah, that's pretty much everything here. Last season, the team did pretty well. We went 35 and 25 and won the first wildcard spot. We lost in the playoffs to the Nationals, however, in the first round. That was pretty unfortunate. As for the prospects right now, we have by far the best system in the minor leagues. Our system is headed by Wander Franco, who I currently have learning third base, and Nick Madrigal. Filiberto Borromini was a scouting discovery who is absolutely phenomenal prospect. I'm actually going to send him to the AZL right now. He looks ready. Hopefully he can develop into a really good leadoff hitter type shortstop. Brady House was a draft pick last year. He's already looking really good. I did not notice I got him first overall. I have no idea how I got the first overall draft pick, but Brady House, really interesting third base prospect at this point. Corbin Carroll is obviously the Diamondbacks' homegrown outfield prospect. He looks pretty solid as a potential leadoff man as well. Christian Robinson, another Diamondbacks prospect who also looks pretty good. Isaiah Magwood, who was also a draft pick. I believe this was the compensation pick, but I'm not entirely sure, for Robbie Ray, who I let walk in free agency. He looks pretty interesting as well. Luis Garcia came over from the Nationals. I don't remember exactly who I gave up to get him, but he looks like a pretty interesting second base prospect as well. Nolan Jones obviously came over from the Marlins. He's looking like he's learning first base pretty well. He might actually get called up this year. I could hypothetically bring him to the majors. Brian Hayes, I already talked about him. Andres Jimenez, already talked about him. Alec Thomas, another homegrown Diamondbacks prospect. He also looks like a pretty good top of the order outfielder. Kybert Ruiz, minor trade from the Dodgers, great acquisition. He's currently the backup catcher, doing very well. Really happy to have him. Yusniel Diaz was a minor acquisition from the Orioles in the trade that I got Adley Rutschman. Geraldo Perdomo, another homegrown Diamondbacks prospect. Tyler Freeman, I believe, was part of a minor trade with the Indians. He's got a really good personality, so we're hoping there's a little bit more on him from this potential standpoint. If he can continue to improve, he could be a really interesting prospect. Trevor Larnach was a minor acquisition from the Twins. He's an interesting looking outfield prospect as well. Blake Walston, another homegrown Diamondbacks prospect. And Bryce Jarvis, who was 2 years ago a draft pick, also an interesting looking prospect. Anyways, as for the financial situation, we have a fair bit of money in the future, but right now we're pretty strapped. The team is very loaded up right now. Unfortunately, the lack of draft picks from the previous season, or I mean, the lack of the audience for the previous season has harmed our financials. However, I have no intention to pick up Craig Kimbrell's option. I'm probably not going to pick up Rosenthal's, so that money is going to be a little bit better than it is right now. I still wouldn't really expect it to be too good, though. Let's see what Scherzer wants to be extended. Maybe. And that's pretty much it. That's all I can really think of to overview this team at this point. Hopefully we can continue to play some good baseball, improve the prospects, level them up, and get them ready. Oh yeah, by the way, Rafael Devers is absolutely tearing up baseball this year. He has one of the highest WARs in the league. He's in the MVP contention. He's been really good on offense. Lots of extra base hits, really high average. If we continue to get this production from him, that would be amazing. Anyways, let's see how this goes. Unfortunately, it does not look like Max Scherzer is getting any better anytime soon. Some of our better players are getting better, though. It's nice to see Nolan Jones improving. Tyler Freeman dropping is really discouraging. Wander Franco somehow improving. Luis Gonzalez, who came over from the White Sox in the Nick Ahmed trade, improving. MJ Melendez, who came over in the Trevor Rosenthal trade, really interesting defensive catcher. He's improving. Luis Garcia improving. That's good to see. Bryce Jarvis, AJ Vukovic. Lots of really good things going on here. Love to see all that green. Do not love to see that red, though. And Andres Jimenez is the Rookie of the Month. All right, international free agent signing time. You can pick up some very interesting prospects from this. So hopefully there's somebody good looking and we can grab them. All right, this Manny Coronado guy looks pretty good. He's got really solid tools across the board, decent outfield defense. Definitely going to want to acquire him. Anyways, right now we're contending with the Padres for the second spot in the NL West division, but after a rough stretch of games, we are 4 games back of the Padres, 10.5 back of the Dodgers, despite playing 600 ball to this point. This is a really rough division to be in right now. Hopefully, some of their players start to drop off the cliff a bit so we can get some wiggle room. But yeah, it's not looking too good right now for our immediate future. Rafael Devers is leading all third basemen in All-Star votes, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any other All-Stars at this point. It might just be Rafael Devers. I can't imagine why. Why is Ian Happ a second baseman? That's really strange. I never would have expected to see that. Gavin Lux has already topped out his potential. He looks really good, and he's only 23 years old. This is one of the reasons that the Dodgers are not a fun team to play with. Ozzy Albies is also really good, can't deny that. Looks like the second baseman in OOTP are better than the second baseman in real life at this point. Hopefully we can grab a couple wins and sneak within distance of the Padres. And Manny Coronado has signed with us. So I will go out and spend the rest of my money, hopefully. Ooh, Andres Jimenez with a 5-hit game. Nice. All right, are there any international amateurs who are interesting at this point? I have no idea why Billy Howard is asking for so much money. He looks alright, but not that good. None of these guys really look all that good. This dude is interesting. If he's willing to take a $1 million deal, I would happily offer it to him. I doubt he will, though. Usually, when he's asking for that much money, he's not going to cut such a low offer. No, he won't do it. Let's see here. I'm going to go with the cheapest guy left. If I happen to sign him, he's just a minor acquisition. That other guy's definitely the head of the international free agent class at this point. All right, let's see who made the All-Star team. Madison Bumgarner made it. Wow, that's impressive. I never would have expected that. I mean, he's not even pitching all that well. Yes, popularity really does play in quite a factor. Brian Abreu miraculously makes the All-Star game. And Luis Arias makes the All-Star game. Rafael Devers, unsurprisingly, makes the All-Star game. So we have 3 representatives at this point. I bet our prospects roster is much more loaded. Luis Garcia, Wander Franco, Filiberto Borromini, Christian Robinson, and Corbin Carroll all make the All-Star Prospects game. That'll be really interesting to watch. And we are still 2.5 back of the Padres at this point. Not so happy about that. Hopefully he can cut 100,000 less, because that's more than I can afford. Yeah, I can't sign him. Alejandro Kirk, the catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. And Nick Madrigal is leading Major League Baseball in total bases at this point. He really has high contact ability already. Our pitching does not look so great at this point, but our runs against is still somehow only 4th. Our runs scored is 3rd, so we're actually underperforming where we should be. 625, and we're somehow in 3rd place, with the 3rd best runs scored and the 4th best runs allowed. I've never seen this before. This is going to be a really tough division to compete in. Oh, great. I forgot that my owner had goals for me to improve power and acquire a power hitter. I have done neither. So he is not going to be happy about that. Let me see if there's anybody available at this point who I could potentially trade for. Kyle Schwarber is a power hitter, I think. I do not know if I would have any intention of actually playing him, but let's see what it would take to acquire him. Brian Hayes, Kyber Ruiz, a whole bunch of players I would really not like to trade. Yeah, this does not look like something I want to do. Alright, well I guess I'm just going to not hit home runs. And my owner is not going to be happy, especially considering I'm somehow in 3rd place in the division. Alright, well hopefully we can pull ahead here in the last half of the season. Maybe even win the division over the Dodgers. Yeah, we had an 8-game winning streak. Alright, let's take a look at this team right now. Something I do need to do is check out the international prospects and promote some of them. The ones who are ready, that is. I generally decide this by an average overall stat of 25. So Jose Gaudian looks ready. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. I don't like spending a lot of time on stuff like this. But unfortunately, it tends to be that you have a lot of prospects in your international complex when you start a game. So it looks like there's going to be a couple guys here that I'm going to have to promote. Doing stuff like this is a pain, but you'll occasionally get a really nice player from players like this. And you definitely have to pay attention to your international amateur free agent signings. I apologize for the tediousness of this, but it just needs to happen. Another problem if you get your international complex too full, you will not have any new scouting discoveries and you cannot sign international free agents until you unload it or open up a spot. So it's very important to make sure that your international complex is tidy, even though it can be a pain. After this, I'm also going to check in on my top prospects and see if anybody needs a promotion to the next level. There's always a couple guys. Well, I shouldn't say always. There's usually a couple guys. Manny Coronado is ready to start playing in a league, but I'm going to give him a year because he's only 16 and a high-profile prospect, and you do not want to risk those guys busting because you are too aggressive with their promotions. Huh. All right, well, I guess that dude's just going to remain in the international complex for the time being. All right, time to check out the top prospects. Filiberto Borromini. He is doing really well at the AZL. I do not think he has the skills to go up to Missoula yet, so I'm going to leave him there for now. Nick Madrigal's at the MLB level. Brady House, he looks like he could be ready for the Missoula Rookie League. And he did really well at the AZL. Corbin Carroll? Yeah, he looks like he belongs at Hillsboro for now. Christian Robinson's definitely good where he is. Isaiah Magwood. I think he could probably handle Missoula. He's got poor control, but he does have some pretty solid stuff in movement. Luis Garcia is definitely ready for AAA at this point. He's got really good looking ratings. Nolan Jones, I believe, is already at AAA. He might be a call-up later this season. He is really raking really high on base percentage. Uh, really high. It's about 50% higher than his average, which is 300, so that's no small feat. His slugging percentage at 600, he is really hitting right now, and his personality is great. definitely a guy we want to have at the major league level. Major leagues, major leagues. Alec Thomas is at AAA. Keibert Ruiz is in the majors. Yusniel Diaz is in the majors. Geraldo Perdomo. Oh, I think he's ready for AA. Tyler Freeman's at AAA. Trevor Larnach's at AAA. Taylor Trammell, for some reason, is in the AZL. I'm going to promote him to AA. I have no idea why he was in the AZL. Blake Walston. Looks like he's ready for high A. Bryce Jarvis also looks like he's ready for high A. All right. I don't know why he got angry about that, but whatever, man. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Christian Javier has become something really good. He's got super high stuff, but no movement or control. Might be a trade piece. We'll see what I do with him. Do any of my guys need an extension? Andres Jimenez is probably worth extending, but I have other guys at his position. I'm not entirely sure I want to at this point. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to extend anybody right now. We'll just wait and see. All right. We are within a game and a half of the Padres. Half a game back of the Padres. We are well within striking distance at this point. And now we're 2 games back. Come on, you can do it. Almost 3 games back, 2.5 back. We look like we are slipping after coming so close to taking that second place spot in the division. That is really unfortunate. We need to start doing better if we're going to have any shot at getting that first wildcard spot. You're going to see a lot of those performances from Juan Soto. He always turns into one of the best hitters in the league for just about every league. I've seen leagues where he has an OPS well over 1300. I've seen leagues where he wins multiple consecutive MVP awards. I've seen leagues where he sets the all-time walk record. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of variety on what the craziness that Juan Soto can do is. Looks like Rafael Devers is starting to slip some. The power's still pretty much there, but his average is dropping very hard. We don't really have any good-looking pitchers. I am not happy that our 2 best pitchers are relievers at this point. I am happy to see them doing this well. I'm just not glad that our starting pitchers can't step it up. All right. How's the team chemistry doing? Let me see if there's any prospects I want to trade for before we hit the trade deadline. Relief pitchers, guys I can't trade for. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody. Either a relief pitcher or somebody I can't trade for. And I obviously have very little interest in the relief pitchers. I don't really see anybody that I'm all that interested in trading for. So I am going to just leave it be and sim out the rest of the season. Game and a half back of the Padres now. And we are now within striking distance of the Dodgers, only 5.5 back and half a game back of the Padres. And 4.5 back of the Dodgers. It is very feasible at this point that we could manage to pull out an NL West win. Ooh, trading Taylor Widener is something I ought to do. I'm gonna check the AAA team and see if there's anybody that I really should get rid of and then trade them off. And Nick Madrigal has a really interesting hitting streak going. All right, let's check the Reno team. Taylor Widener can be shopped. West Tunnel can be shopped for sure. I'll just do those two at this point and see who I get, and then I'll do some more later. Hopefully we can get some interesting young prospects here, but if not, that's okay. We don't really need too much for these guys. They aren't adding too much value to our organization. They're extremely unlikely to be anything real. It does not look like we're getting any interesting prospects. That guy looks like the best offer so far. Oh, that's interesting. That could potentially be a decent relief pitcher from the Pirates. I will take the Pirates offer, the only one that I like at all. Could we potentially get Nick Birdie in this trade to help our playoff run? Ooh, interesting. Sergio Gutierrez. I have absolutely no idea why the Pirates are interested in this guy, but I would be more than happy to give him up for a little bit of Nick Birdie. Hold it, what's his contract like right now? Yeah, definitely affordable. I have no problems acquiring him. I don't know why his walk rate is so high. Hopefully he can fix that with us. Interesting. It looks like the Pirates have signed Starling Marte as a minor league free agent. That is weird. I never would have expected to see that from them. All right, well, maybe I will ask for Mitch Keller instead. He could definitely be a nice addition to our rotation. Let's see if they like it better when I throw in Dylan Bundy. Probably not. They're probably really not happy with this offer. Yeah, those guys are all players I have no intention of trading away. So I will settle for Nick Birdie, I think. I'm going to check out their prospects and see if there's anybody else I'd potentially want to trade for and see if I can get a draft pick out of them. But at this point, this is probably where the trade is going to stand. Ooh, that Jared Jones is actually a pretty interesting pitcher. I might look into him a little bit more. Liover Pereiro, who they got from the Diamondbacks in the Starling Marte trade. And that Quinn Priester, he's an interesting looking prospect as well. I think I'm going to ask for, oh, they have Tanner Huak. Got him from the Red Sox. Who was it I was going to ask for? Jared Jones, I believe. Jared Jones. They're not happy about that. Oh, once again, uh, surprisingly low offers for a player that they value as highly as it seems like they do. This is not a lot to ask by any stretch of the imagination, and Jared Jones seems like a fairly interesting prospect. A 25-year-old right fielder who looks like he has very little potential. I don't know why they want him so badly. All right, let's see if we can't get your first round pick for next year as well. What if I drop Nick Birdie out of this offer? Still not narrowly good enough. What if I drop out Jared Jones as well? I'll take Jared Jones and Nick Birdie and be happy about it. This is still a really solid trade, no doubt. Getting some more bullpen help on top of what we already have, giving up absolutely nothing valuable. Interesting looking pitching prospect. Nice ads here. And the fans are happy about Nick Birdie, which I definitely appreciate. All right, let's see if there's anybody else we can trade away. Maybe get a couple more interesting acquisitions here. Matt Peacock, I believe, has been asked for in trades. Eric Swanson, who I got from the Mariners when I got Evan White. Might as well dump him. I don't really have a use for him. And I think they're all I'm going to get rid of at this point. I could trade Taylor Clark, but I have a feeling he wouldn't really get me any value. All right, hopefully we get something. Okay, well, we are not getting any offers for Matt Peacock and Eric Swanson. So I will just leave this team as it is and hope that we can make a good playoff run here. I'm going to send Blake Sederland to AAA to hopefully develop a little bit more, and potentially Ben Bowden down to Reno, but he looks pretty solid. He's been pretty good for us. I don't know. I don't know that I would want to send him down. I could potentially trade Kirby Yates. He looks like he would fetch a pretty sweet return. Now I've got Nick Birdie. He can pretty much replace Yates in the bullpen. Who is the worst team in the National League right now? Easily the Pirates. Okay, I'm going to see if I can use Yates as leverage to get the Pirates' first overall draft pick. Hypothetical first overall draft pick, of course. Yeah, they are not happy about it. Okay. Well, I might as well shop Yates around and see what I could potentially get for him. I will need a pretty decent offer because he is very affordable for 3 years, very team-friendly contract, solid reliever. All right, let's see what we've got. Eduardo Rodriguez, interesting offer. Could definitely be a nice addition to the rotation, but I do not think he's coming cheap. He is a high contract, and I believe he's only got 1 extra year of arbitration left. Tuki Toussaint could also start, but he's another one of those guys who's not really going to be so good. John Gray, this is an interesting offer for sure from the Rockies. I don't really like him, but he could be a decent pickup. I think I'm going to just try asking for prospects only after this because I don't see anyone too interesting. Sandy Alcantara is kind of interesting, but not worth giving him up. Carlos Correa. If he were cheaper, I might be willing to consider that offer. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get any interesting offers here on the major league side of things, so I will try just asking for prospects and see if I get anyone here that I would be interested in acquiring. I'm not impressed with these offers. I don't think I'm trading Yates. Daniel Lynch. That might be the best offer I've received so far, and I still don't really like him. Yeah, I don't think I'm trading Yates at this point. He's too valuable to me, and I'm not getting anything good enough in return. Now, the question is, who is going to be traded or demoted? Rosenthal might be another option. He's got a very team-friendly contract as well. He's cheap. He's okay. Some team's interested in picking him up. I can send him over, get whatever I can get, and then move Birdie into the team. I'm not going to pick up anything too good, apparently. Although these offers from the Marlins aren't too bad. High void Ks for him, and then JJ Bleday, always an interesting prospect. Looks like he hasn't really panned out, but you never know. Alright, I think I'm going to check out the Marlins offer again. Where was it? Here we go. Alright, JJ Bleday and Steven Kwan. Maybe this time I can squeeze out Sandy Alcantara. I will probably be sending him to AAA to start for the time being. Can I maybe get their first round pick? What if I were to throw in Kirby Yates? Nope. Doesn't look like that's going to get anything done. Oh boy, well now they're willing to accept Boromini. Looks like I'm just going to have to take this trade as it is. Let's see if I can get them to take on any more of Rosenthal's contract at this point. Save a little bit of money. Looks like they're willing to take on quite a bit, to the point where I might actually be improving my financial situation slightly by this trade. Alright, well, let's see here. They're willing to even retain part of Alcantara's contract. Let's see just how much. They might even be willing to retain 100%. Yeah, they would retain 100%. Alright. Do you have any other interesting prospects here? If I remember correctly, Victor Mesa is a defensive wizard. Yep. I don't really have an interest in any of these prospects. I think I'm just going to complete this trade as it is and call it good. Alright, well, Trevor Rosenthal is now a Marlin, and Nick Birdie will now slot into the bullpen. And Sandy Alcantara will start at AAA. For now, he's just a middle reliever because my bullpen is that good. Yeah, the Pirates closer and now just a middle reliever for me. Alright, well, wow, Luis Arias has really picked up the pace this year. again in contention for a batting title, really high on base percentage. His OPS is all the way up to 951, hitting lots of doubles. Really good year from him. All right, well, let's get through the rest of the season. This is taking unusually long to take. All right, here we go. Ben Bowden has improved, Sandy Alcantara has improved, Michael Bush has improved, Jake McCarthy, Elise Sanchez, AJ Vukovic. Interesting. AJ Vukovic might actually turn into a pretty interesting prospect to keep an eye on at this rate. Hildared Patino, Isaiah Magwood, Brady House. Love to see Brady House improving. He looks even better now. Very, very impressive by him. Shocker, Juan Soto is the batter of the month. I've never heard of Jacob Nix before. I'm very curious to see him. Huh. Must have been pretty good month for him to win Pitcher of the Month, considering how bad his year was. And we have inched above the Padres and within 2.5 games of the National League West lead. This is becoming a very interesting race to watch. The team is really pulling it together here. Nick Madrigal with a 23-game hitting streak, still going. And we are within 2 games, my bad, of the Dodgers. 3 games? 4 games? This is not what you want to see after coming so close, slipping 3 games in a row, or is it 4, to drop back into 3rd place and then losing again. This is just a terrible stretch. We're still only 4 games out, but that was really unfortunate after coming so close to taking the division lead. The Dodgers are starting to fall off a cliff. The race is really tight in the National League West at this point. And unfortunately, Evan White has suffered an injury. This is not what you want to see from one of your top players. I am going to have to call up a left fielder to take his place temporarily. I don't even know if I have anybody. Alec Thomas looks major league ready. Luis Gonzalez could also hypothetically fill the void. All right, well, I'm looking at Gonzalez and Thomas. I don't want to start the clock on Thomas at this point, so I will take Gonzalez. But that's really gonna sting from your number 3 hitter going on the injured list. I don't even know if I have anyone to back up my first base anymore. I guess I'll just put Taylor Walls there and hope that doesn't go too badly. Actually, what do his splits look like? Not as good as I was hoping. Andres Gimenez should definitely be batting higher up in the order. I will actually just plug him into that 3 spot. All right, there we go. Yeah, losing Evan White stings. You never, ever, ever want to lose a batter so critical to your lineup at such a critical point. All right, well, hopefully this team can take the division lead without one of our star hitters. But it's not looking good after we lose our first game since White's injury. We are really slipping here. The Dodgers are starting to recover. We're now 6 games back. We need a really good push here in order to take the division lead back. And now we're losing again. Looks like moving Chris Archer was not the best move. He is doing very, very well currently with the Nationals. I want to take a look at Max Scherzer versus Chris Archer. Scherzer's been pretty good with us, 114 ERA plus, not very many strikeouts, but fair bit of control, and he's given up more home runs than optimal, but he's mostly kept batters off their feet. And as for Chris Archer, the Washington Nationals, he is leading their team in WAR despite not even starting the year with them. Lots of strikeouts, better job avoiding the home runs, but he has walked more batters. His ERA plus is worse, but he is still pitching very well. I kind of have to regret that trade at this point, especially considering that Max Scherzer is not getting any younger at this point. But as the ace, we have to hope that he can keep pitching pretty well. Dylan Cease, the number 2 pitcher. It looks like we're pretty likely to get a playoff spot. The Nationals are 8.5 games back for the second wild card, but it will be an uphill battle to take division leader the first wild card spot for sure. Definitely not the position you want to be in such a tough division. Essentially, what we're looking at right now is we would have to go to Petco for the wild card game, and then if we were to hypothetically beat the Padres, the Dodgers would have home field advantage for the division series. I can't actually remember. Is the playoff field expanded for 2021 in OOTP? We're going to have to see. But 4.5 games back of the Dodgers. Sixto Sanchez looks really good. I might make him the ace immediately, maybe even. He is very good. Nick Madrigal making even more strides. Wander Franco continues to improve at AAA. His contact skills are already top of the line for the major league level. His gap power is up there, his eye is average, and he's just lagging behind in home run power only. He is absolutely destroying AAA to a tune of a 373 batting average and 5.3 WAR in 600 plate appearances. He is definitely going to be a September call-up. Luis Gonzalez making improvements at the major league level. He's not performed yet, but hopefully we can hope for some better things to come. Alek Thomas making improvements, good to see. AJ Vukovic finally has reality catch up with him. And Brady House continues to make improvements. This is a very good sign from our first round pick. I think he's ready for another promotion at this point already. Brady House is just making leaps and bounds. Apparently Dylan Bundy would like an extension, although I do not think I'm going to give it to him at all. Oh, actually, you know what? That cheap, I might as well just do the publicity stunt and give it to him. As a fan favorite, it will raise my team morale, or my fan interest, to give him an extension. So I'm just going to pay him basically nothing for year 1, and then give him an option that I'm probably not going to pick up. Let's see, just how popular is Bundy? Very popular, very, very, very good thing to see. Sixto Sanchez. Four and a half games in the NL West. And we lost again, and we're 5.5 back. And both Sixto Sanchez and Craig Kimbrell suffered setbacks in their minor injuries. On the same day. All right, come on, guys. You can do this. And Craig Kimbrell suffers another setback. All right, come on. 5.5 back. And we're running down the stretch. Dylan Bundy signs the contract, which increases the fan interest. I'm going to increase the ticket price by a little bit to slightly up the revenue. We still are not hitting for home runs, and yeah, this is a little bit of a problem. Rafael Devers and Evan White leading the team. Evan White isn't even healthy right now. Carson Kelly is third with 13. Very, very low home run totals. We are very much a contact-oriented team. Highest batting average and on base percentage in the league. 288 batting average as a team, but only a couple of home runs. We are not making any ground up in the NL West. Still 4.5 back. And the pitching is not healthy. Everybody is exhausted. This is not good. September call-ups cannot get here soon enough. We desperately need the reinforcements on the pitching side. And it looks like my ticket rises in price were not popular. Max Scherzer has dropped off even more overall rating. He is not fit to be the ace anymore. I'm going to move Sixto Sanchez up into the #1 spot. September call-ups really cannot get here soon enough. Oh, it's September already. All right. Well, I guess I'm calling guys up. Wander Franco, welcome to the Major Leagues. Nolan Jones, welcome to the Major Leagues. Oh, you only get 2 guys. That's right. I forgot about that. Shoot. I had to choose between the two. It's gotta be Wander Franco. And I need the pitching help, so he's gotta stay down for now. Alright, Sandy Alcantara is coming up to the majors. He can hopefully provide us with a little bit more stamina in that bullpen. I do not know why everybody is so gassed. But that is a problem. That is probably part of the reason why we have not been winning more games at this point. Better rested bullpens win many more games. And Dylan Cease is now on the ERA leaderboards, and he's already off, but still, nonetheless, very happy to see that, albeit temporarily. 2.5 in the NL West. Maybe we have got a shot here. And the Padres and Dodgers are neck and neck at this point. They've both secured a spot, and Dylan Bundy has suffered a massive elbow surgery and will be getting Tommy John. Alright, I think it's time to make Wander Franco a starter. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I do not want to force start him anywhere at this point. Okay, well, he can play shortstop or third base. I don't need anybody replaced at those positions. Don't need first base. I mean, I've pretty much got a solid team all around. Can any of these guys by chance move to the outfield? I believe Luis Arias is capable of moving to left field, yes. Perfect. Alright, well then I will send Luis Gonzalez down to the minor leagues. No, I'll keep him here. But I'm going to move Rafael Devers to the designated hitter spot. And Wander Franco will be our starting third baseman for the stretch. Hoping for big things out of him. Alright, let's paste this in here, make any changes based on handedness that need to be made. Brian Hayes over Andres Jimenez, and there we go, that's our lineup. Dylan Bundy's injury really stings. I don't like paying guys to not play for me, even if they weren't that great to begin with. Rafael Devers with a really nice year, Luis Arias as well. Our only true power hitter, Rafael Devers. After the season, I will likely be offering Wander Franco a massive extension because we want to keep him in town at pretty much any cost. You cannot let a guy like that go. He is just on a whole nother level of talent-wise. Oh, right, I didn't replace Bundy in the rotation. Alright, well, let's call up Corbin Martin. Four and a half back in the NL West. It's not looking good. I mean, we're going to make the playoffs, but we are probably not going to win the division at this point. The Padres have taken the lead in the National League West. Can we pull off a miracle here? Yeah, it looks like the playoff field has reverted to just the two wildcard teams. And Mookie Betts looks like he's going to become only the second player in Major League history to win an MVP in both the National and American leagues. Having Evan White back is huge. Bye-bye, Luis Gonzalez. All right. We have our left fielder back. Which unfortunately means that Wander Franco does not have a starting position at this point. I don't know what to do with him. He's got to stay in the lineup. I just don't have anywhere to put him. I could put him in center field over Albert Almora, who has been pretty bad this year, but I don't really want to do that. I think Wander Franco just has to come out of the lineup for the time being, unfortunately. I mean, I'd rather start him over White, but he is not yet on a contract, so limiting his playing time isn't the worst thing I can do. He's also improved since being called up already. Very good signs for the future best player in the game. I don't like sticking him as a pinch hitter, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, maybe he starts during the playoff games, but we'll see. We're still 4 games back of the Padres with only a handful of games left. It is not looking good for our NL West chances, but we could still overtake the Dodgers for that first wildcard spot, only a game back of them. Only 2 games back of the Padres. Maybe they can't hold onto their NL West lead. The Dodgers are, however, still winning right alongside us, and we've passed up the Dodgers for that second place spot in the NL West and the first wildcard spot. And we will end the regular season short of the National League West title, but we will, however, still have the first wildcard spot. Arraez wins the batting title with a 369 batting average, 244 hits, and also the highest on-base percentage in the league with that above average eye. Rafael Devers leads the team in WAR. Very good year from him. Led the league in RBIs. Don't really care about that. Lots of extra base hits. Solid batting average. Great performance. Dylan Cease plays very well as the ace. I don't know why we don't have a number 5 starter. I could have sworn I put Corbin Martin there. What happened to Corbin Martin? All right, well, I guess Sandy Alcantara gets to be the number 5 starter. Oh, well, we don't really need one for the playoffs anyway, so. Anyways, let's see how. Oh, right, playoff roster. That's why Corbin Martin's not on it. Let's see how Wander Franco did. Not a great major league debut, but he has improved his overall ratings, and he will definitely shine at the highest level next season as a mere 20-year-old. This was technically his age 19 season, and he cracked the major leagues. Very impressive debut by Wander Franco. All right, anyways, I will manually play the wild card game because it's the playoffs. So let's see what we can do here. And the Dodgers beat us in a game that I was for some reason skipped right past. That really bothers me. Knicks won 2 Pitcher of the Month awards. I don't know what the deal with him is. He's got apparently very good control, but that's just about it. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't look like the Dodgers game actually happened, even though it showed it happening on that playoff screen. No, it did happen. It just never showed the news. That's really obnoxious. Losing once again in the wild card round. All right, well, I guess we'll just finish this up by going through the rest of the playoffs and doing the interesting part of the offseason. Last year, the Dodgers beat the Astros in the World Series. That's a possibility that could very well replicate itself. Edwin Diaz with a 3.4 WAR as a relief pitcher, 1.96 ERA, 25 saves, .9 WHIP, 18.3 K per nine. Absolutely otherworldly season. I really don't want to see the Dodgers win back-to-back World Series. I hope the Braves can stop them here. Come on, Braves, you can do it. Oh, the Red Sox and the Astros. Interesting. If the Dodgers make the World Series, they're guaranteed yet another rematch. I don't know how Kyber Ruiz got hurt when we aren't even playing games. And it's looking like the Dodgers are likely to have a rematch World Series against the Astros at this point, unfortunately. And it will be the Dodgers and Astros for a third consecutive actually year. 3 straight years with these two teams meeting in the World Series and 4 out of 5. My bad. Not 3 straight years. It was the Nationals last year. And the Dodgers are going to once again win the World Series. However, their streak of NL West pennants has been broken. Alright, let's see how upset my owner is now. Well, 575 score is not terrible, but I'm not happy about that. Actually, on second thoughts, considering how much time I spend on team staff, I am going to just skip through the off season, do that on my own, and we'll just do this bit, and I will see you guys next time. Ugh, Max Scherzer to an extension.